Hello everyone, welcome to my projects tutorial. Hopefully it's going to be small. I apologize beforehand for all the background noise you may hear. It's really noisy where I live, and also it's been raining a little bit, so you may be able to hear the rain as well. Let's begin then. We're going to start checking here the content the project has. It's really short content, it's not that much. Here's the images where you can take for the answers, for the button, and also for the background of the project, of the widgets. Here is the map, the scrambled words. You can see it's already opened, and if you go to the blueprint level, and here you can see the coding where the scrambled words widget appears on the viewport. It's to add it to the viewport. Alright. In sounds, the only sound here is the one that notifies of the wrong answer. It's the wrong answer notification. And in the widget folder, you can see the 3 widgets that are part of the project. The first one, named End Game, is the one that makes reference to the image that appears after the ending. Is the message that appears after the ending of the game, which gives the score and if you pass the game or not. The scrambled words blank, this is a blank copy of the project so that the user, which is yourself, can add all the words that you would like to add. And this one, the scrambled words example, this is an example of the project, which is the one that appears in the viewport, and you will have to replace it with this one. And on the setup, we're going to open this folder setup. You can see that we have 5 files in here, which 3 of them it's enumerators, the letter count, the word scrambled, and the word scrambled skip. We're going to open the enumerator count, and this is as the name says, it's the count of letters of a word. So right now you can add up to words that have 7 letters. You can also, if you want to add words that have 8 letters, 9, 10, 11 letters, you will have to also add it in here. You go to new, and if for example you want to add a letter that has 10 words, a word that has 10 letters, you add 10 here, and then you will be able to add it. For now we're going to delete this one because we don't need it. In word Scrabble, we're going to open that one now. You can see here that we have the number of words that you can add. So we have from word 01 to word 08, which means that you can add 8 words in here. And close, it's referencing to the ending of the game. So if you want to add more words in the game, if you want to add 10 words, 12 words, 13 words, you will have to add them in here. You will have to add the entries in here and add the words will be word 09, for example, word 010, word 011, until you reach the amount of words that you want to add. We're going to delete this one also because we don't need it. And the last enumeration, will be this one. It starts with number 2 because this enumeration it's related to the skip button. The game starts with word 01, so there's not way you can be able to skip that one. You skip to the next one, which will be word 02. So that's why this starts with word 02, because this is the first puzzle that you skip to. If you add in this one, in word Scrabble, the one that we have been reviewing before, if you add up to word 15, you will have to also add all those new words in here. But we are not going to add never word 01, because as I said, the first puzzle you skip to, it's word 02, so that's why we start with word 02. I hope I'm making sense, and I apologize because English is not my first language, so you may see that sometimes I struggle a little bit to be able to find the correct word to explain what I want to say. Now we're going to go to the widgets that we have here, which are two: the letter button and option button. We open first the letter button. You can see it here. It has the button and also has the text box where you add the letter. This is not something that you have to modify specifically unless you want to add your own thing, in case you want to add something additional, but this is not something that it's not necessary for you to change. It's good as it is. You can see here in the graph that we have the function called letter fill that gives the text box the letter that for that specific button. And basically this is the only thing that we have here. The events pre-construct, events construct, event tick, it doesn't have anything there, but I left them in case that you want to add something yourself, so you will be able to find them in there, but they don't have anything. And moving on to the words option, we're going to open it. Option button, sorry. We have here the button for the options which the game has, which will be start, next, skip, clue, and quit. Same thing, the button and the text box in order to put it in here. The same thing, it only has the letter fill in here, just like the letter button, and events in here, pre-construct, construct, and tick doesn't have anything either. So basically this is just for you to add what you want, what you would like to add. There's nothing that you have to, it's not necessary for you to add something in here in case, unless that you want. Unless that you want to add something, then other than that, it's not necessary. Perfect. Now we're going to return to the widgets folder, and we're going to open the Scrambled words example to show you the content in there. Alright, this is the widget where all the game begins. You can see this is the text box, a normal text box. We have here the instructions, and we begin with the first addition, with the first important content component of this widget, which will be an Xbox HB letter space. And you have here in total 7 components on this HB letter space component. Yeah, each one is composed by a border and a text box in here. The 7 have the same components, and this is where the answers will appear, by the way. Next we're going to move to the HB letters. It's the horizontal box. This is where we have the widget letter button that I showed you previously. You can see that they all appear as letter A, But if you go here on the details, under default in letter, you will be able to see that each one has its own letter. So when you click on play, you will be able to see the letter each one has. You will not see the content as AAA as it appears in here. It appears like that because in here, that's the default value that each button has. That's why you see letter A in there. But in here you add your own value. So you can see each one has its own value, and in here this is the name for each letter as well. So it starts from letter A up to letter C, and you can see that there are 2 additional letters. There's no value in there. These 2 additional letters, bottom letters, are in there for all the words that has duplicated letters, like for example a letter. You can see that it has a duplicated letter, which will be E. Actually it has 2, so you see that it has letter E twice and also letter D twice. So that's why we have here these buttons. It's just for these letters that for these words which has letters that are duplicated. So that's why we have these buttons. Now moving on to the next component, which will be HB options, and this is where the options that I previously mentioned are start, next, skip, and quit. Just as explained here, you can see that in here you see the button word, but just because this is the default. But if you go here, this is where the correct content for each button will appear. So whenever you click play, you will not see the bottom word. You will see what you have written in here. And the last one, the last component shown here will be HB information. There are 2 horizontal boxes. One is for points gained and the other is for clue count. So for points gained, for each puzzle that is solved, it will add 1 point. In total, because there are 8 words, the total amount of points will be 8. If you add more words, then of course that will increment the number of points. And in here, in clues used, if you add, well, for now, the default of clues used, the total amount accepted is 3. If you want to add more, you can add it perfectly. I'm going to show later on how to do that. And if you just want to keep it like that, you can do it. Or if you want to decrease the number, you can as well. And at the end of the list, we have here border, which is the background of the whole game. And if you go to appearance, you can see that in image it appears the border that we currently have, but please take note that there's a binding in here. If we click the go to function, it will take you to the binding that the background has, which will be an image. So if you want to change the background, you will not change it in here in appearance. The change will have to be made here on this variable. And this is where you can see that the background, it's also included in here. So here you go and change it to whatever background you want to have in case you would like to add your own background. Yeah, I forgot that I also need to show you the end game notification, the end game message that will pop out once the game is done. Let's go there. This is the end game widget. which is the message that will appear at the end of the game when the game is done, and we will begin reviewing it. This is the border, which is the background of the game. We have here the HB options, where you can see the option of restarting and also the option of closing. In here we have the text box. We have two text boxes. One is for the percentage, the amount of the percentage, and the other is the symbol.